The epic and unbeatable at Scrabble. The Nerds with Attitude!
To the N.W.A. We are the Nerds with Attitude. And I am just one of your humble hosts, Shin the Hero, aka Walt. I got my boy, Old Hunter Rage, Isaac. And then we have Flores Bloom, Noah. That's your cue to say hi, Noah.
I don't gotta say hi.
Oh my god.
There you go. There's your hi.
Oh my god. And today we are going to be for the how would I say this? How can I say this? To celebrate something that's going on Disney Plus right now that just aired, I want to say, with Bo Peep for Toy Story. Bo Peep just got her little short thing from what she was doing from the beginning of Toy Story 4 when she leaves the room to when Woody meets her in the playground. She gets a little short and you see what that happened. But to celebrate that, mainly because I just saw Toy Story 4 maybe like a week ago. I know it's bad, but it did come out last year, so I mean it is. Yeah, it was 2019.
Really?
Yeah, it was
like summer last year or something like that.
It was summer last year? Okay.
Yeah. But to celebrate that, we're here. We're going to bring you our rankings of all four movies. How we're going to do this is I'm going to give my number 4, and then Isaac's going to give his number 4, and then Noah's going to give his number 4. And then back and forth. We're going to go back and forth. If our number 4s are all the same, then we're just going to go up to the number 3. But if those are not, I'm pretty sure some people are going to have some words for some, because I'm pretty sure our lists are not the same. Why? I 100% believe our lists are not the same. Probably. But we're going to, and after we get off all our lists, we're going to make a definitive list for our channel, the N.W.A Nerds with Attitude. We're gonna make a definitive Toy Story ranking list. So, I guess I'll start this off. My number 4 is the first Toy Story. For me personally, is from best to worst. Toy Story 1 to me is the worst. All 4 movies are great, but Toy Story 1 to me is my number 4.
Really?
Yes. Go ahead, tell us your number 4, Ivy.
My number 4 is Toy Story 4. I can't stand that movie.
Oh!
Honestly, it's not like... like you said, they're all really good movies. It's just that one I felt was unnecessary. Not to mention, I have a lot of salt related to that movie. Because I could have gone to see the first Matrix around the same time, and we ended up having to go see Toy Story 4. So,
the first Matrix.
Yeah, and I love the Matrix so much.
Then you must be hella excited for this reboot they about to do.
That's, I think, a different subject for another podcast.
All right, we'll get into this discussion. Let's hear Noah's number 4. Let's hear Noah's number 4.
Oh, my number 4?
Yeah.
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3?
Wow.
Yeah. The worst one.
What? Did you watch it?
Yeah, we watched them all. Toy Story 3, the worst one.
Okay, let's start with you first. Why do you think Toy Story 3 is the worst?
It's the worst
out of the 4.
Because out of all of them, it was like the least original.
The least original?
Yeah, because all you did was the bad guy was the same as Toy Story 2.
Lotso Bear was a way better bad guy than Sticky Pete.
How? They were the same. They hated humans.
Lotso was a way better villain. He was the best villain of the entire series.
Stinky Pete and Lotso was the same villain.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they was.
Lotso
Lotso got lost, and Stinky Pete never had an owner. Because of that, they both hated humans the same.
Lotso didn't necessarily hate humans.
It was the same thing. And then they copied this thing with Buzz going back to being a space ranger. They did the same thing in 3. Because 2 already did that. It's the same thing. 3,
no, 2 didn't do that.
2 did do that.
2 Buzz was already was like, yeah, sure, I'm a toy now, and he just ran into his multiple copies of himself, and one of those other guys came alive and tried to like, and it was basically the reverse of Toy Story 1.
It's still the same concept. They still brought Buzz Lightyear back as a space ranger. It's the same thing.
And then that moment in Toy Story 2 with Zurd, what is that his name? His villain's name?
Yeah.
Zurd,
and he came out, he was like, I am your father, and it was playing catch at the end. It's not the same concept. And 3 ended the entire thing. 3 ended
they had the
series perfectly. Where 4 shouldn't even existed, in my opinion.
I mean,
I get why 4 is a thing, but 4 shouldn't exist.
It doesn't matter. 3's the worst.
Do you agree, Isaac? Do you agree?
No. I think 4 is obviously the worst, but
nah.
Tell us why. Tell us why.
3's the worst.
4 was like the whole. Well, I will say I'll give 4 this. The whole message about moving on is a really good message.
Yeah.
And really, my only good takeaway from it, from parts of the movie, was what the hell was his name? The little Forky.
Forky, yeah.
I think I cried a few times laughing at every time he tried to throw himself away. And I was like, you know what? I feel the same way. I'd rather do that than watch this movie. But
Yo!
But it was just, Woody needed that lesson, and when he finally does get the lesson, I just don't agree with the fact that he ends up leaving everybody like that. Plus, I don't get how the parents and the girl don't notice. They're like, oh, we're short a toy. That's okay. She was an expensive toy, but that's fine.
Woody was not her favorite toy at all.
Yeah, she didn't really play with Woody too much. So I can understand I can see where you're coming from, but I can understand them not really noticing they missing the toy. I can understand that because the entire movie, she was only about Forky. The entire movie. She was only about Forky. However, without Woody, she wouldn't have had Forky. So there's that.
That is also true.
But I do get where you're coming from with 4. Like, cause it was a tie for me. It was almost a tie between 4 and 1. But the reason why I put 1 down, granted, 1 is a great movie and everything. It sure is. But if you watch 1 by itself, the way 1 is, like, it could be a standalone movie. There was no need for a sequel. Like, it almost ends perfectly with a wrap bow. Also, if you try to watch 1 now, and I watch 1 does not hold up. The animation in 1, the animation in 1 looks like a PlayStation 1 game.
I would agree with that.
Nah, I don't agree.
It looks like one of those Home Master commercials with the fox.
No, oh God, it's not that bad.
No,
it is.
It's not.
It was
great.
I rewatched when I watched 4. I rewatched all 3, and I rewatched all 3. I watched 3, 2, 1 in that order. And when I got to 1, I was like, Jesus, this does not hold up at all.
So
the animation did not hold up at all.
You're crazy.
It did not, and I just
Absolutely crazy.
granted, Sid got what he deserved. He got what he deserved, but at the same time, I was like, there was a time in my childhood that I watched. I was a Sid sometimes.
Oh yeah.
That was a time where I was a Sid, man. I was sitting there thinking, and I was like, and then when I thought about it, I was like, man, this movie is so old. I was like 10. I remember seeing Toy Story in the theaters. I was like 10 or 11
Oof.
watching Toy Story.
So let's go back to Toy Story 3.
And I wasn't even really interested in Toy Story 2. I wasn't even interested in it.
So let's go back to Toy Story 3. Why do you guys think it's so good?
3, it's like to me 3, we'll get to it when we get to it. We'll get to it when we get.
Okay.
But if 3 is, if 3 is your 4, I just don't understand why. Because these movies are freshly in my mind. I do not. There are maybe a couple of cues from 2 to 3 that are similar, kinda. If you wanna squint your eyes and tilt your head,
Whatever.
but I feel like 3 is such a superior movie to 2. But let's go with your number 3.
My number 3?
Yeah, let's go with your number 3.
My number 3 is Toy Story 2.
Toy Story 2 is your number 3?
Yeah.
Isaac?
My number 3 is. I probably have to put Toy Story 1 as my number.
I'm crazy.
All right. And my number 3 was Toy Story 4.
Okay.
All right. So the reason why I put Toy Story 4 at number 3 is, again, the same thing I had said about the first one. Toy Story 4 is kind of standalone. I mean, you honestly could have went into Toy Story 4 without seeing the first 3 movies and been fine, because it's almost like a brand new story almost, and it's mainly about Woody. Like, all the movies have been about Woody is the primary main character, and this is like Isaac said, Toy Story 4 was about that letting go, trying to find out something, doing your own thing with his life. Because if you remember in the beginning of Toy Story 4, he was going to go with Bo Peep. He was finna choose, I guess, quote unquote, toy love. He was finna choose Bo Peep, but he felt that loyalty to Andy. He felt that he needed to be with Andy, and then Toy Story 4 is basically Woody's midlife crisis. That's what it is. That's
the perfect way to say it.
That's basically what Toy Story 4 is Woody's midlife crisis. And I feel Woody the entire movie, because I'm at that age where I'm like, I feel you, Woody. I feel you. I want to know where I'm going, man. I want to find that. I want to find my Bo Peep too, dog. I feel you. I want to refine
with it.
But that's why 3. That's why 4 is my number 3. I get it, and and then to me, Gabby, she wasn't the villain. She was an antagonist, maybe, but she wasn't the villain, and that's the other thing. And I also like all the brand new characters they brought into it. The fluffy guys, the Key and Peele dudes, the Canadian Keanu Reeves, the motorcycle guy. Like I said, I like the characters, and Gabby. Isaac was about to say something about Gabby.
Oh yeah, I have a thing about ventriloquist dummies. I'm pretty sure I had a nightmare after that movie. It's like, her little like watchtower situation she had, and the dummies were sitting up there, and the heads were turning 360. I was like, nah, you can miss me with that.
That was great though. That was great. That was great.
Yo, I feel you on that. It was a little creepy. They did hit you with the scary movie vibes when they was chasing them and everything.
Oh heck!
But in my also opinion, my second favorite character, probably my best character. You know those little GI Joes, the color coordinated GI Joes, and they would always high five, and the white one would be left out. I felt sad for the white one. I felt sad for the white one. However, he got that high five at the very end of the movie. If you stayed at the end credits, if you stayed, the Canadian toy, the Keanu Reeves toy, he comes up, he does the little Pixar thing, he does the eye where the lamp normally is, and then he comes, then the little white G.I. Joe figure comes, and he gives him a high five. I was like, yes, he got his high five.
That was a very nice moment. I was happy for him.
But let's go with Isaac. Why is Toy Story 3, not Toy Story 1, your number 3?
Well, Toy Story 1 has a lot of like sentimental value. That was like, I'm pretty sure that was like the first Pixar movie I ever saw as a kid. And really it's number 3 because I just like the other two more than it. Like I don't really have anything negative to say about the first one besides, like you said, the animation is kind of,
it does not hold.
It's like a PlayStation 1 game.
I do not agree with y'all. You guys are crazy with that.
It is.
You guys are by yourself.
It is a home star.
I do not agree. I don't agree.
And why is, you said 2, right? Was number 3?
Yeah,
man, you got
2.
some really unpopular opinions. I'm just gonna tell you that now.
Yeah, 2 is my number 3. Yeah, 2.
Wow.
I just don't think it was that good compared to the other ones. It's better than 3, but it didn't do nothing special.
2 expanded the lore, the world of Toy Story.
I don't care. So did Kingdom Hearts. You don't see me playing Kingdom Hearts 3, do you? 2 wasn't that good. It didn't do nothing good. It didn't do nothing special.
2 did everything good.
You know part I hate about
it introduced 2 fan favorite characters, Jessie and Bullseye.
You know what? You remember that part in Toy Story 2 when she was explaining her backstory, and then it went to song. Then they went to that song thing. I hate that part so much.
That's a Disney movie.
I know, but it was bad. I hate it.
Oh my god!
Absolutely hate it.
You are not human.
Listen, and then I know it's Toy Story, and it's not realistic at all. But when Woody used his toy string to wrap it around the airplane thing to swing off of it to land on Bullseye, I was like, whatever, complete bullshit.
It's a cartoon.
I know. It was just too much for me. As a huge, it was just too much. I was like, you gotta be kidding.
So you don't think somebody, if they had a grappling something, couldn't do that?
Yeah, they can do it with a grappling hook, but not with a toy Woody string thing.
Oh my god. Oh man. All right. So we moving right along. I think we all said our pieces. I
mean, it's still a good movie. It's better than 3 though.
Oh my god. All right. What's your number 2, Isaac?
My number 2 is Toy Story 2.
Which I have to agree with them because that's my number 2 too.
Oh. I don't know why.
No.
My number 2 is Toy Story 4.
Oh my god.
Why do you put 4 so high?
Because 4 is...
Enlighten us. Please, debate this, please.
Because some of the scenes was so powerful. It was so good. 4 had the best opening. in all the Toy Stories, with the whole trying to rescue the little toy car out the rain. To
No,
Woody,
2 had the best one.
when Woody and Bo Peep was under the car, the rain, the scene where it was just Woody and Forky just talking.
Yeah, I seen that. It's in Casablanca.
It's just, it had some of the best scenes in all of them, even though I know it.
2 had the best opening scene though. That video game with Buzz Lightyear. That felt like a PlayStation 3 game.
Yeah, but I still go with 4 because of the emotions, the you don't know if they're gonna lose the toy car, we're losing Bo Peep all at the same time.
They weren't gonna lose the toy car. He's in Toy Story 2 and 3.
So he's not in 3.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Briefly, but he's in there.
When?
He's up there in the attic.
I don't remember that. Was still the best. It had the best scenes. The only thing Toy Story 4 lacked that all of them got is the relationship between Buzz and Woody. You don't see that in 4.
Yeah, the thing about 4 I don't like. The thing about 4 I really don't like is the fact is I mean you see the relationship a little bit. You see them best friends. You see the best friend aspect with Buzz and Woody. You see that. But the thing that I didn't like is all the original characters got barely any screen time.
Yeah, I understand that too, but this was Toy Story for Woody. It wasn't about the other toys for once.
But the entire series has been about Woody. That's a thing. Yeah. Or back and forth with Buzz.
Well, this one was all about Woody. This is why it was important. This is why 4 was needed.
I don't even think
it completed his. It did. You needed it because it completed his character.
3 completed his character. 3 completed all their characters.
No, it didn't. No,
because the way 3 ends, he says, "See you later, cowboy." Like he basically is allowing Andy to grow and leave, and he's accepted that. Accepted that.
But 4 is about. Remember, Woody was Andy's favorite toy. In 4, he's not the favorite toy. He's not even the leader of the room no more. He has no place. It's great for his character. It's just because 3 made us think he's going to be the leader of the room. He's going to be Bonnie's favorite toy, and that wasn't the case. That's why 4 is that good.
No, I didn't get that from at the end of 3. The way I got it from at the end of 3, that everything was all said and done, like they were moving on basically. 4, I feel like 4 was just a tagged on thing, mainly about Woody and Bo Peep, and it was 4 was a love story basically. That's what 4 was. It was a rom-com. Yep. That's what 4 was, and there was no need. And in my opinion, there was no need for 4. There was no need for 4 because Because if you wanted to do something like that with 4, they could have just, and instead of just putting in the other toys, they could have just made it a special, like they did the Bo Peep thing, like they're doing the Bo Peep thing, because this was mainly about Woody. It was about Woody and Bo Peep. That's why they tacked on that thing about in the beginning with Bo Peep, and when Andy's sister outgrew Bo Peep the lamp. That's the reason why they attacked that on in the beginning of that. So Woody would have a arc. But the whole thing is at the end of 3, Woody already accepted the fact that Andy didn't need him anymore. He already accepted that.
But Bonnie doesn't need him either. He probably was. They made it seem like Woody was going to be the leader of the room for Bonnie, and Bonnie was going to be her favorite. That was going to be her favorite toy, Woody. But he's neither of those right now. He's nothing.
But I didn't get that in 3. I didn't even get that where you were gonna get Woody was gonna become Bonnie's favorite toy. I mean, because at the end of the movie, Andy was still really holding on to Woody when he was showing her all the old school toys and everything. The guys who've been from the first one, Rex, Slinky, Mr. Pig, Potato Head. It was all that. He was showing all of them the old ones. She was getting to know them. It was like
but remember, she asked for Woody. They made it seem like that was gonna be her favorite toy. She asked for Woody, and that's what Andy gave it to her. Andy didn't just decide to give her. Andy didn't decide to give Bonnie Woody. Bonnie asked for it, and that's what made it seem like Woody was gonna be her favorite toy. But it turned out that wasn't her favorite toy.
What do you want to add? What do you want to add, Isaac? You've been a little quiet.
Who was her favorite toy? I mean, before Forky showed up, before she went and made Forky, who was her favorite toy?
They never really specified her favorite toy. They made it seem like Woody was her favorite toy, because when she found Woody hanging from the tree, she took Woody home, started playing with Woody. They made it seem like Woody was going to be her favorite toy.
Right. And then,
but
they never said she. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but in 4 happened, Woody wasn't her favorite toy. He wasn't even the leader of the room. Dolly was the leader of the room. And that's why they told Woody, no, don't go with her to pre-K. You can't go. But Woody didn't listen. That's why 4 was so important.
I don't know, because I mean, like I said, I still feel like 4. As much as I wouldn't say a cash grab, but I feel like 4. I mean, in the retrospect now, 4 is important, but it wasn't needed. That's how I feel. I feel like 4 wasn't needed, because there's a lot of stuff that happened in 4. Like if Woody didn't go with her to kindergarten, you wouldn't get Forky, and you wouldn't. And I highly doubt Dolly would have stayed, because it almost seemed like the way Buzz had put it in 4 was she hasn't played with him in a little bit. At the beginning, she was playing with Woody a lot. It wasn't really specified that she had a favorite toy, and I wouldn't even really say in 3 that they was setting it up like Woody was going to be the favorite toy.
But they did. I think
3 and I also feel like 3 wasn't really. They wasn't even going to even put in the little girl in 3. I think she was just attacked on 3. The first 3 were about Andy and his toys, and the way 3 ends, it's Andy and his toys going on to new greener pastures. 4 and almost, in my opinion, 4 almost feels out of place.
Nah.
And we're continuing on with another little girl we don't really know or care about.
3's still the weakest. It's still the weakest movie.
Is there anything else you want to add, Isaac?
The way I look at 3, I'm looking at I had to look it up a little bit just to make sure my information is correct. It came out in June. Avengers Endgame came out in April. I feel like they were trying to cash in on like the super high. Look, Woody's ending was Captain America's ending in Endgame.
Yeah, what I think about it.
They didn't kill Woody, which that would have been kind of funny to watch. But if he got caught up in the merry-go-round carousel thing, I'm sorry, that's really dark, and I should be ashamed. But it's like, he's done all he needs to do. Bonnie's happy. She's got her weird fork toy back. She's got all the other toys. He can move on and go be with Peggy or Bo Peep.
I said 4 is Woody's midlife crisis. That's what for it.
3's still the weakest. You know why 3's still the weakest? Because I had to sit through the Ken and Barbie scene. That's why.
That was hilarious.
I didn't care less about Barbie's and Ken relationship. I don't care about Barbie and Ken.
And they grew as characters.
3 is the weakest.
So,
Weak.
no surprise. Number 1, Noah.
Toy Story 1.
I knew it.
And there's no surprise. And I'm pretty sure me and Isaac has the same number 1, which is
Toy Story 3.
yeah.
How is Toy Story 3? What was so good about
Toy Story 3 was the best ending to the whole thing. Toy Story 3 was Andy going to college. I was still in high school at the time. I still had like 4 years of high school left to go at that point. I'm young. I know. I'm very young. But that hit home because I was like, yeah, one day I'm going to have to sell my toys or give them away or something like that. I'm not going to be... Of course, I don't have that many toys left anymore.
So that's what makes Toy Story 3 the best? The ending?
It was, yeah.
Just the
extremely
ending.
relatable.
No, not even just the ending. All the first 2 all culminate to Toy Story 3. The entire 1, 2, and 3. You're basically growing up with these toys, with Andy, as Andy's growing up. That's why 3, to me, it's the best of the if you kept it as a trilogy, like it's the best of the trilogy. Because it's the third one, it's the end of the story. We see these toys from the beginning and to the end.
So it's about the ending for Toy Story 3. That's why it's the best.
I wouldn't even,
What about leading up to the end? What about all the up to the end? The whole movie.
The whole movie is good.
You cannot
too.
say Toy Story 3 is the best because of the ending.
The whole movie, at that point, like the whole movie had feels in the whole movie. I very rarely get emotional in movies. Very rarely. Toy Story 3 was one of the very first movies in a long while that I almost cried in. That moment when when Lotso locked them all into the furnace and they were finna die and they all start holding hands and everything. And that was
besides the ending of Toy Story 3. What else about Toy Story 3 makes it the best? Is it like the middle part? Is it the beginning?
Lotso, the villain. Lotso was a better villain than Sid. Lotso was a better villain than Stinky Pete.
Stinky Pete and Lotso was the same thing, except one never got brought and one got lost. They were the same villain. They hated humans.
No, Lotso didn't hate humans.
Yes, he did. He
didn't.
hated kids. He hated them. He got lost. He got replaced.
And Pete didn't necessarily hate humans either.
Yes, he liked it. Children were destroying toys. He said all that.
And he liked his little thing being as a collector's item, basically. He liked his little gig as being a collector's item.
Same.
Yeah, he rathered adults rather than kids.
They was the same villain. They didn't.
No, they weren't the same villain.
Yes, they were.
Also had way more character.
I don't care. They were the same thing. They had the same thing. They both hated humans. They went back to Buzz Lightyear being just a space ranger instead of being an actual character.
It wasn't.
They made it different ways.
It wasn't our Buzz.
They did it in different ways, but it's the same concept. 3 had a lot of similarities to 2. That's why it's the worst one. It may have the best ending. It may have been emotional. But you're telling me 3's the best because of just the ending?
Then
what about the rest of the movie? What about the rest of the movie?
By that, I just told you, the Lotso is a great villain. That's what makes. Yes, he is.
No, he is.
He is a fantastic villain.
Lotso is a great villain. Lotso is a great villain. You didn't.
He's Stinky Pete.
When I first met saw Toy Story 2 and saw Stinky Pete, I immediately said villain. When I saw
Lotso.
when I saw that with Toy Story 3, With Lotso, I did not think he was a villain. I didn't even think he was gonna turn on them like he did.
Man, whatever. Yeah, everybody knew Lotso was the villain. Just
No,
whatever.
I honestly did not feel like Lotso was going to be the villain. I didn't even think Toy Story 3 was gonna have a villain like that.
Lotso.
Stinky Pete, you already 100% saw him as the villain.
It doesn't matter. They're still the same thing. They have humans, so it doesn't matter.
Because they have
Toy Story 3 is the worst.
So what you're saying is this is what you're saying. You're saying because the two villains hated humans and had tragic backstories, they're the same character. That's what you're saying.
Almost, yeah. Something tragic happened to them about humans.
That's the same thing with Sid.
No, it's not.
Sid had a tragic backstory, and he didn't necessarily hate toys.
What tragic backstory did Sid have?
He had a messed up childhood. His parents were divorced and everything.
How do you know that? They didn't say that.
Look at him.
He only lived with his dad. And if you also looked at any of the shorts, you'll get some of that stuff.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So you're saying since Sid had a tragic backstory,
exactly, just like you just said about Lotso and Stinky Pete.
First of all, you can't compare a human to toys.
My God, are you finna go? I'm talking about the villain.
But Sid's so you didn't destroy toys when you was a kid? Sid was kind of twisted, but he was still a kid just playing with his toys, even though he was destroying them. You didn't break some toys when you was a kid? You didn't pop their heads off when you was a kid?
I mean, I didn't really pop off I didn't destroy my toys. My toys was sacred. I had a Woody. I had a toy similar to Woody.
You wasn't rough with your toys?
I wouldn't. Well, yeah, because there was times where it was rough, where I wouldn't be like they weren't rough, but like over time, an arm might fall off.
A little twisted, but he was a normal kid. That man grew up, got a job and everything.
Wow! No,
did he?
Yeah, he was the. What? Yeah, he was the trash man in Toy Story 3.
He was?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have to watch this movie again.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice that.
The Easter egg things.
I didn't even notice that, and that also brings us back to our great, where it brings it all the back around. What Sid is? What Sid is a casual human being now? Then I guess in Toy Story 3,
he was a normal kid, and
Sid was not a normal kid.
He was a normal kid. He just had a little bad ways. He didn't do nothing bad. He wasn't hurting nobody. He was hurting toys that he didn't know they came to life.
Oh, he learned today.
He was just a normal kid playing with his toys. His toys.
That event traumatized him.
If he did was actually the trash man at in Toy Story 3, I don't blame him, because I probably would have, gone extremely tame if I had seen what he saw that
exactly.
day.
Exactly. It all comes back to like I said, I'm not saying any of these movies are trash by no means. All four of them are great movies.
Me too.
Yeah. I just feel like 3, as the combination of the trilogy, is, in my opinion, and I guess in Isaac's opinion too, is better than 1 and 2, because 1 and 2 basically leads up to 3. Without 1 and 2, you can't really get 3.
All I'm saying is 3's a good movie. It's just not. It's just the worst out of all of them. It's just. I understand it had an emotional
and you also can say the same thing of everything you have said about 4.
So 4 is not my number 1. Toy Story 1 is my number 1.
Why is Toy Story 1 your number
1? Because it had the best scenes, the best dialogue, the best. It's just the whole movie was just good. Like Toy Story 1 had the best package overall. When Woody was just yelling at Buzz, "You're a toy." Can you imagine? Just think about Think about a grown man talking to a little kid, and the little kid saying, "I'm gonna be an astronaut," and the grown man saying, "You ain't gonna be no astronaut. You just a kid." That's what Woody was doing to Buzz, and it was just great. The whole scene with them under the car fighting, their relationship growing, them hating each other to them being friends, to Buzz losing his mind when he lost his arm. It was just when he thought he was Mrs. Nesbit. Sid as the villain. It was great. It was great. The whole Toy Story 1 has a whole package.
Toy Story 3 has that whole package.
No, it doesn't.
And it puts that package that you just said, or what Toy Story 1, it packages it some more and puts a bow on it.
No, it does not. No, it does not. 3, I'm not saying 3 is bad, but I'm saying just because the ending was great. The ending that's not the only thing that I've been hard. 3's the worst one.
That's all right. Isaac, you have anything else to say?
I guess just agree to disagree.
That is very adult of you. Anyway.
Adults? We're talking about Toy Story. I ain't no adult.
You got a point. I mean,
all right. So
Toy Story 3 was the worst. It's not a bad movie, but we're
going to now
worst.
Have the list for
what's the worst?
The N.W.A Nerds With Attitude. We're gonna have our definitive list. Now,
are we?
We are. No matter what happens, this is our definitive. This is the group's definitive list.
Oh,
I don't care. I don't care how.
I don't know how we're gonna do this.
I know somebody's gonna get angry. I don't care. It is the group as a group and voting. This is why we have 3 of us. So, I will harken back to our list. At number 4 for me was Toy Story 1. At number 4 for Isaac was Toy Story 4. And at number 4 for Noah was Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 is the worst.
Toy Story 3. Toy Story 4 was my number 3, and Toy Story 2 was my number 2, and Toy Story 3 was my number 1. Our first 2 kind of are matching for me and Isaac, and our last 2 are in reverse. Noah's number 1 is Toy Story 1. Your number 2 was Toy Story 2?
No, my number 2 is Toy Story 4.
Toy Story 4.
My number 3 is Toy Story 2.
And Toy Story 3. All right. Now we got all that out the way. Voting for number 4. My vote, after hearing everything, my vote is probably going to be for Toy Story 4 at number 4.
Absolutely not.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I hate both of you.
After hearing some of the things that Isaac said and stuff, and I was thinking about it, I was like, yeah, I kind of agree though. I have to agree with that. Which made me change my mind about Toy Story 1. I just went, and then hearing some Noah's Toy Story 1, it did make me change my mind about Toy Story 1, putting it that low. Maybe I probably should rewatch the movie as many times as Noah had. I guess I ought to, because I didn't get it. All right, so number 4 for our list, our definitive list. I will put it in the chat. Number 4.
It's Toy Story 4.
Toy Story 4.
Whatever.
Number 3.
Toy Story 2.
That is your vote
Yep.
for number 3?
Yeah. No.
You said Toy Story 2?
No, Toy Story 3 is my number 3.
Are you positive?
Yeah, I want it to be number 4. But since it can't be 4, it's 3.
Well. Aslick?
Go ahead. Y'all don't agree. Put Toy Story 1.
I think number 3 is number 1.
I know. Put Toy Story 1. I know. Go ahead. Number 3, Toy Story 1. Go ahead.
Okay, we're
Yeah, Toy Story. Toy Story 1 is 3.
We're kind of at a crossroads because now I do agree with Isaac. However, the 3 that I would probably put was Toy Story 2.
I can actually get behind Toy Story 2 being number.
After hearing some of you guys, after hearing your guys' intake on it and everything, and especially hearing Noah's passionate debate about it, I kind of would see why at least the first one should be number 2, because it's damn sure not going to be number 1. But Toy Story 2, I feel like it should be number 3.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Noah?
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Number 3. Toy Story 2. All right. Our number 2.
Toy Story 1. We already know.
Story 1.
Yeah.
That's just me. That's my opinion. That's me.
Yeah.
That's
What do you
me.
mean?
I'm going with Toy Story.
Both of y'all number 1s was 3. So Toy Story, since I'm outvoted, Toy Story 1 is number 2.
I mean, we haven't heard from Isaac.
Okay.
Like our
My bad.
opinions
You're
could have
right.
changed.
Okay.
Could have
Go
changed
ahead.
his mind and whatnot.
Go ahead.
I'm good with Toy Story 1 being 2.
Exactly.
3. Well, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna move on 3 being 1. So
Toy Story 3 is the worst.
And number 1. And a rousing, everybody agreeing, Toy Story is number 1.
Absolutely not. I don't agree
my God.
whatsoever. Toy Story 3 was the worst. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't the other 3, but it's cool. It's whatever.
Toy Story 2, Toy Story 1 is at least at number 2, man. You changed my mind. You should be at least happy about that. You damn sure once would change my mind about Toy Story 3. I was a hard stance, just like I said, Toy Story 3.
Yeah,
being 1.
Because you guys told me Lotso was a good villain. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because since I grew up with Toy Story, and then 3 was like me growing up with Andy. I don't hear that bullshit.
We're gonna have a lot of salty debates and stuff like this.
You want to know why I grew up with Toy Story and Toy Story? Want to know why that whole thing is stupid? Because Toy Story 3 was for children. They marketed for children, not the people that grew up with 1 and 2.
All of them are marketed towards kids.
Exactly.
The entire series.
Exactly. But your argument saying 3 was the best one because you grew up with Andy, and it's like you had to.
Exactly.
I don't care.
You couldn't.
It's the worst. 3 is the worst.
It's like saying, which this might be a controversial opinion. It's like saying, in the original trilogy of Star Wars, the 3rd one is the worst because it's not the 3rd, it's the worst, even though the 2nd one is the best. But oh my God.
Well, I mean, I guess conversely, and again, I'm not trying to start a fight, I promise. But you say Toy Story 3, you said the whole growing up with Andy is not is bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But Toy Story 1 being your number one could be seen as nostalgia.
No, it's not. Toy Story 1 just had the best package overall. It didn't have no dull moments. It was because when I first made my list, I was gonna say Toy Story 2 was the best one.
I was going to keep the nostalgia thing because I was trying to do these off of story and characters and movie how the story played throughout all 4 movies and which one had the best story and all that stuff. And I was trying to keep nostalgia out of it. If we was gonna put nostalgia out of it, nostalgia goggles on, yeah, sure, Toy Story 1 would have been the best one, like you were saying. But going back, revisiting Toy Story 1, it was hard for me to get through Toy Story 1.
I don't know how. It
was hard for me.
Everything.
It was hard.
Cool,
it was hard
it's
for
cool.
me. No, Batman the Animated Series still holds up. Toy Story 1 does not hold up.
Yes, it does. It's like, whatever. Toy Story 3 is the worst. 1.
Okay.
Look,
But
I'll say Toy Story 3 is, well, like, obviously for me and Walt, Toy Story 3 is the most emotional and impactful, but Toy Story 1, I would say, is the most memorable.
I would agree with that too. I would agree with that. You hit it right on the head.
Toy Story 1, like he said, had, you know, what's the part with Buzz trying to fly and he hits the ground and his arm falls off.
Yeah.
Miss Nesbit and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes you can remember from 1. I give you that. I would give you that. There's a lot of memorable scenes and nostalgic type things happens in 1. I'd give you that one. I would give you that, yeah. But like I said, the list for us, we got Toy Story at number 1, Toy Story 3. At number 2, the original Toy Story. Number 3, Toy Story 2, and at number 4, Toy Story 4. Tell us in the comments. Tell us in the comments if you disagree or agree with our list, or if you agree with Noah that you think Toy Story 3 is the worst. But you will get a lot of these salty debates and whatnot. And if you had fun with us, why don't you hit that subscribe button and join us on our journey of what we shoot? We're shooting for 100 right now. We're shooting for 100 subscribers. This is our first video. We're probably very unprofessional. I'm very sorry about that. But I promise each video will get better. And each debate of ours will get better. Join us next time when we debate. I don't know what we're going to debate. But I will tune you in.
I don't know.
I will tune you in on that one. And with that, have a lovely, wonderful day, and
to infinity and beyond.
Oh my God!
Good. Yo.
Oh, perfect.
To infinity and beyond.